All right, welcome to Team Call on July 19th, post summit. And happy launch day. Happy launch of Lift More. I hope everybody is rocking their launches today. Today we have a few other announcements too, right? Summit just ended. Lift More is today. Today's the coach and preferred customer launch for Lift More. And what customers August 2nd. So now is the time to get everybody in with the coach price and preferred customer price, which obviously always makes most sense because then you get the discount. So we wanted to really talk today about our takeaways from Summit because we are coming off of it and just so freaking pumped and tired and pumped and excited and ready to go. So who wants to share? Melissa, do you want to share your experience? Can she hear us? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. So Leah, do you want to share or do you want? You're muted.
Were you talking to me before?
I wasn't sure if you can hear me.
Yeah, it's hard for me to hear. I don't know why. I have the volume all the way up.
If you want to talk, that's fine. Then we can listen to you if you want to share your Summit takeaway or how you felt.
I wasn't planning on talking.
Well, now you're on the spot. So share something with us. Share something.
Anything at all.
I guess one of the biggest things that I got from it was what I heard a lot was to be your authentic self. That was definitely talked about a lot. And which I think is great. But it's also really hard to do. It's really hard, for me to put myself out there. I know I've tried to. So that was like probably the biggest thing. There's just a lot of it too is just overwhelming. I think my brain is still kind of fried. Still recovering from the last few days. But I'm so glad I went. It was such a great experience. It was so great meeting everybody. It's just a lot to process right now. But definitely so worth it.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot. It's a lot of information, right?
What do you struggle with most about sharing? Just like being vulnerable or like sharing your progress or?
I guess I don't mind sharing my progress. Well, I mean, I haven't really shared any pictures of my progress that I'm not ready for. But I guess being vulnerable. I know I talked to Melissa and Angelina during the trip about a time I shared with my friends who I thought were my friends about depression and about me being depressed. And at first they were all comforting and we're going to make an effort to get together and go to dinner. And then, I don't know, maybe a week or so after that, it was like crickets. I never heard from them again. So it is hard to put myself out there after that. But from that experience, I just realized they really weren't the friends I thought they were.
Right. I know for me, I struggled very similarly, especially with anxiety. And I know taking that step to share those things is like you're leaping off a cliff, basically. Yep. You're kind of just like posting like, I don't want to look. But what I found is there's so many more people that resonate with your story than you think will. And most of the time, maybe they don't comment on your post, but I've had people like comment like behind the scenes, like, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being vulnerable. I'm going through the same thing. I would never be comfortable for sharing that. So sometimes I feel like, I don't know how to put it, but like I'm being brave enough to share that and show people that they're not alone.
Yeah, I know there's been a couple posts I've done about sharing what's going on with my esophagus and swallowing issues. And I've had people comment on under those posts, but I've also had people private message me as well to tell me about their experiences, or that either them themselves or their children have the same thing as I have. So that's been really nice to know
Yeah.
that I'm not alone and that people have gone through what I've gone through.
Exactly.
And what I was going to say is, like, when you shared that story with us, you shared that just to 2 people. And I know while you had that experience, it was awful to have it. When you're sharing on social media, I feel like it's so different. It's almost like you're posting and you're sharing it out to way more people, which I get is way more scary. But like Laura said, then those people that need to see it and who can relate to it can like wrap you up in love from it. Whereas those 2 people that you shared to privately didn't have, you didn't get the best response from. So like, while it seems weird to like, why would I share more of myself to more people? You will get more support as a result because you're sharing it. Does that make sense?
I will say, you'll connect with new people and more people. Just add to that sentence. I feel like that's been the best part of this is meeting new people and growing with them and finding like my true people, not just the people that I've been hanging around with for 10 years or whatever, if that makes sense.
I know I had that fear about sharing like my transformation photos at first. Like I was so embarrassed, and like I didn't want the people that I knew to see, what like in my real life, what I looked like at first, like compared to, and in the beginning, I mean, not that I'm a skinny mini right now, but like in the beginning when I shared them, it was still just, like 10 pounds down, 15 pounds down. I felt like I had changed so much, and it's that confidence that you get. But like looking at the pictures now, I'm like, you could see a little bit. And then like now when I have the beginning to the end, you can obviously see, but people will say to me like, I never knew you looked like, I never saw you that way. Like, are you wearing a fat suit? Like, cause it just like, I hid it with my clothes, but I definitely had that fear of sharing those. I'm even like the first time in a challenge group, sharing them with like whatever, 100 people. But it definitely got a lot of like attention. And that's how I got a lot of people in the beginning. Like all of my, people that signed up with me were people that I knew personally that were like, holy moly, so it was definitely scary, but it was, and that now I just feel good about it. Like I said, like it helps my, like I just feel much more confident now, and I'm just like, whatever, I used to look like that, but I don't anymore.
That's awesome. I saw Rebecca asked, what did you learn at Summit that could help us that are just starting out? And that's a great question. And like coincidentally, right here in my notes is for new coaches. So I'm just going to share exactly what was shared with us that I wrote down. But for new coaches, number 1 is put yourself out there before you're ready. So just post, make a post. Whatever it is that's on your heart. Do you love your workouts? Are you feeling fueled from your nutrition? Whatever it is, like share it before you're ready. Don't wait till you're ready, because you're never going to feel ready, no matter how far you are along in there. Number 2 is share your journey consistently. So, often share what's going on, share how you're liking your workouts, share how you like the community, just share your journey consistently. Number 3 is take action. Number 4, be a product of the product. And number 5 is invite new people. So those 5 things: put yourself out there, share your journey, take action, invite your friends, and be a product of the product. So just as simple as that, like just make it simple and do it before you feel ready. And it's going to help you gain that confidence, like Brooke just said.
Can I add something, Melissa?
Of course, go.
About sharing the journey consistently. A lot of new coaches, they're worried, they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have a big transformation yet, or like I'm just getting started. Like, what if, so I have a coach that every Tuesday shares some part of her transformation, even if it's just like, this week I did 2 more reps than I did last week. This week I held my plank 10 more seconds. This week, you know, I ran around the soccer field with my son and didn't, you know, get out of breath. Little things like that, that are life changing for people versus, you know, sure, a picture of you with abs versus where you started are huge, but what people want to see are those, like, those things that are going to completely change someone's life, you know, like that's the most important part. Yes, the small things build the story. Exactly, Megan.
Another thing that I heard in one of my trainings was like, don't worry about if you don't have a big following or a big group. You know, one of the coaches was saying that like they offered to do a challenge group or something for a program, and I think 1 girl joined or 2 girls, and they said just like pour into the people that are there, and it's good practice and you will grow, but don't like avoid doing the group just because there's only 1 person. Just like give that person all the love, and you know, you'll help them get their, you know, along their journey and get their transformation. And, you know, in the process, you'll get some practice.
Who else wants to share? Leah, Alana?
Yeah, since we're on this subject of new coaches, Elena, share, since you are a new coach, I think it would be great for you to share the things that you felt would help you the most at this point in your business.
Okay. What, like, the starting thing was that he had said, a lot of you are like Beachbody's secret agents. Nobody knows you're a coach. And I'm like, yeah, that was like totally me. Nobody knew I signed up, but I didn't tell anybody. I didn't really do anything except for maybe somebody who asked or something like that. So that's definitely the first thing you have to correct. The other thing that I liked is that he said, one of them called it simple eating, which I thought was great because sometimes the nutrition part is very scary to new people. So I thought that was a really good term that I would like to use when I talk to people about how it's just simple, especially like my mom, where you're super busy and you think the nutrition will be super complicated or something like that. So I liked that verbiage that I plan on using. One of the other things they said was no more playing small or solo. And a lot of times you think like if you play big, you have to play solo. I mean, that was just my thought process sometimes, that so that made me feel good because I mean, there's such a camaraderie and such a group out there that you can play big with a bunch of people, which is great. And I also learned that I have a lot to learn. There is a lot to learn in that back office, but all the information is there. Like, it is there. They set you up for success. The information is there. You have to go find it, but it's there. But there is, there's a lot to learn to do it the right way. Another lady said that you get what you post for, which I think that kind of goes back to when Brooke talked to us a couple weeks ago. She had said that she wrote out what her ideal client would look like. And so I thought that kind of tied that together for me, that, you write out your ideal client and then you kind of post for, you get what you post for. So post for that ideal client maybe. So I that was a connection that I made there. The other one was there's no doing it wrong except for not doing it at all, which is kind of huge for me because I'm like, no, I'll do that wrong, or I'll say the wrong thing or something like that. But the there's no doing it wrong except for not doing it at all was super important for me. And then another thing that I learned in one of my speaking things was that to ask the customer questions and then shut up. They're like, a lot of people give too much information. They do too much. They say too much. You ask the customer what they need and then shut up. So I thought that was interesting. And I did. I had a lady contact me and I asked her, you know, all the questions, her history, her workout history, all things like that. And she goes, I'm so glad you asked me. And I'm like, oh, that worked. Like, I was like instant, instant validation there. So I definitely would go with that one. I've tried it. But those were probably like my biggest takeaways, and something happened on my phone. Crap. Okay. So anyway, that's what I got. Those are my takeaways. I mean, I had like pages and pages of notes because it was like 5 hours of personal development a day up there. You know, I probably listened to easily 15 speakers, like almost a day. I think we had 5, well, probably 10. So I probably had 5 in my track meeting, and then they probably had 5 different people on stage. So it's like 10 different people every day full of personal development, which is, I mean, that's a lot. 5 hours of personal development is a lot. That's almost like, I mean, audiobooks, the personal development audiobooks are usually like 5 hours. It was like almost literally a whole personal development book we got per day over the whole experience. So it was a ton to take in, and I have tons of notes, but those were kind of the more simpler ones that were quick and easy to talk about.
I love that you can't do anything wrong unless you're not doing it. It's sort of like to be mindset. Like there's no wrong eating. There's nothing bad that you can eat as long as you're tracking it. Like same concept. Like that's so simple.
Yeah. So that's what I got.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
That was so good. Elena, you were amazing. We would like go back to the room and sit and like, I was like exhausted. And she'd be like, so this is what I learned today. And we would go over the things that like we picked up. It was so much fun.
We did. And it was so good because we were in different tracks. So I got to learn what you learned from your talking points, and you got to see it was really great. So at first I was like bummed because I'm like, oh, we're not in the same thing. And then it was like, oh man, that's so good. I got to hear everything she heard kind of, you know, so it was great. And I just like, and thank you to everybody who went, because it was definitely fun, and I felt like instantly welcomed, and it was great. So thank you everybody, because it was a really great trip because of you guys. So thank you.
So one of the things that I picked up was somebody was saying, go back to your coaches that are in the other tracks and talk to them, like have a breakdown. And that was fun that it kind of naturally happened with you. So I'm really curious as to what I missed in like the 5 to 15 star track. But as far as my track goes, the vision talks from Moira have always been one of my favorite things, and putting action to your vision when you visualize every day, like moving your body as you visualize, was something I've never done. I usually just sit here and like try to think about it. So I thought that would be a great thing to add to my morning routine. So after I read my vision, kind of get up, walk around, close my eyes, and visualize the steps it takes to get to that vision. And then to share it with the team, which I did in our team page today, which felt terrible, but at least I did it. Whatever. It was the first time I've ever done that. That was a lot. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so embarrassing. And then the checklists were my favorite thing. So making it easy and basic for a challenger and a new coach to get started right with a handful of easy steps that they can go through. And I have a screenshot of those checklists, and Nicole Kitching is actually, I think she's putting some together. So I'll be able to share those with you guys. I have a few pages of things, but I really like those checklists quite a bit. And then just team habits, like good team habits. So weekly power hours together. I want to do a monthly planning session. So once a month before the first of the month, plan the month with my team about when we're launching, what the body group's doing, when are we inviting, what are we inviting to, all of those fun things. Post authentically. Looks like we all heard that one. Oh, I want to get a mission statement. Like I need my own mission statement. Just a random thing I wrote down, but I really like those checklists and keeping it simple for people. And I guess the one other thing that keeps standing out in my notes is when we did the Power of I Am before the summit started, Josh Coates was talking about building the belief bridge. So it's really easy for me to message someone who I think would enjoy this program and be like, hey, I think you'd love to do this. Do you want to do it? And they're like, well, I can't do that. Well, yeah, you can. I said you can. So you can, but they don't think they can. So it's, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, my kid. So filling that gap, helping them understand, you know, where you were, for example, and like bringing it back to them and talking to them, like Elena said, asking the questions, getting them to talk about it and showing them the steps is something I really need to work on. So communication and connection whenever I'm inviting and talking to people.
So
Oh,
Allison said she had a takeaway. I'm calling you out. You listened in. I'm very proud of you. You were, Allison, she was gonna come. Her dang job wouldn't let her get out, and we were very sad. But she tuned in to a lot of the stuff, so it made me happy.
but mine's not even a takeaway from.
I don't care.
I guess. Well, so this was like a big moment for me today because I stopped coaching for like a really long time, just because life got really hectic, which is not an excuse, but it did. And so I just started coaching again, and even just posting, like even if you're not actively coaching, but posting those videos and pictures of yourself like working out every single day, even if you don't think anybody's watching, there are people who are like watching you and are holding themselves accountable even just by watching you. So a girl that I talked to maybe a year and a half ago reached out to me today and like wants to join, and she was like, I just like see you work out every day and you're so consistent, and she's like, I just see like all these people just encouraging you like on Zoom every morning, and she's like, that's like something that I need. So like even if you don't think anybody's watching, which is completely like the mindset I had, there are people watching your little, what I thought were insignificant stories that I kind of just did for myself. So even the stories that you think are so small and like minuscule and like nobody's gonna really take anything from, those are actually kind of the most important, because just having that routine every single day and watching someone do that, like that made her want to jump in. So I don't have her yet, but we're talking, we're taking it slow. So, but yeah, that's it.
So awesome, Allison. And you are consistent and amazing with your workouts. And I'm always excited to see you in the morning. Sort of along those lines about just like, you know, be consistent. There was something, I think it was in the Power of I Am, where they talked about like slow growth, like a tree, you know, like don't feel like pressure to grow like crazy, or see other people who just like took off and, you know, went straight to superstar. Like, you know, I'm definitely a tree. It's like a slow growth, but I'm not giving up. And there was a quote that I heard that I loved that said, the coach that loves the journey will walk further than the coach who loves the destination. So along those lines, you know, like enjoy the ride and don't worry about the destination.
And Laura just said it. She said Emily Lemoyne. That's what I was going to talk about. Emily Lemoyne, Emily Lemoyne.
I made up a Emily Lemoyne song at some.
She has got a system that is so freaking easy. And I just want to share it because it will take me like 30 seconds. It's all about bringing challengers in and getting them awesome results. And then they naturally want to become coaches because they're getting awesome results. And her system is so easy. It's not these like crazy Success Club numbers. She shoots to help 5 people a month, at least, to sign them up as challengers. And when the minute that they join, they get a welcome email followed by a text from her. And then they have her phone number and can access her and feel that, like, you know, support immediately. And then she checks in with them day 1, day 2, day 5. Day 5, she says, congratulations on your first week. Tell me a win. Gives them a check-in over their first weekend, because that can be a hard time for new challengers to begin. And then checks in, you know, a few times during day, let me mute her, day 10 to day 14, and then congratulates them on making it to day 14. They made it 2 weeks at that point. And if you guys can think back to like your journey and where you began, or just how you feel after consistently working out for 2 weeks, you feel great. You may see results in your body. You certainly feel them. You feel amazing because you've developed some sort of consistency. And at the day 14 check-in mark, as long as they've been responding to her and are feeling good and doing what they need to be doing, that's when they get the coaching invite. And that's how she brings them on to be a coach at that point. But the whole key to it is just getting them consistency for 2 weeks. So let's say somebody falls off during that 2 weeks. She leads them back in to find another program or find another solution to get them through to that 2 weeks. But the whole magic is getting them 2 weeks, checking in with them consistently, and then bringing them in to be a coach and making it super simple for them to say, I feel great, I want to share this. So I know that's something that I'm going to, you know, take moving forward, is just really concentrating on getting them through those first 2 weeks to seeing that big change and seeing them. The day 5 message was, congratulations on your first week, tell me a win. So she has them tell her some sort of win that they've had in those 5 days. And just how freaking simple is that? Like, we overcomplicate things so much, you know. All we have to do is help them get results. We want people to feel good. That's why we're here. So yeah, so simple but so genius.
We need your notes. We need.
Yeah,
And she had a little chart too. Like she literally
she
had
did.
everyone's name. Day 1, you have it?
It's from Moira's Rise Up Planner.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, well, it's probably similar.
but she made it better. She made it better than Moira.
Melissa, can you share that with us? Like,
of
write it
course,
down.
yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
have pictures of her slides?
I might. I have to look back
I
through my
do.
slide pictures.
I'm wondering if, Megan, do you know if people can tune into, or we can get access to her presentation or no?
Yeah, they're working on it.
Okay.
They're like putting it, I just saw Sandy post in the speaker group that they're working on getting stuff together. So
Awesome.
Yeah, I do have pictures, so I'll definitely post them.
Yeah.
But she does in her slide have the welcome text. Hey, you know, sent you an email to get started. Like, here I am, blah, 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 blah. But it's so super simple.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we'll definitely share those.
Did she speak to all of us?
Like a simple checklist.
Did what?
What, did she speak in a general session?
No, she spoke in
I spoke
our
with Erin
leadership,
Hopkins.
the Diamond Track. Yeah, it was her and Erin Hopkins.
Because I was like, I heard you say it before, so it kind of sounded familiar, but I was like, did I hear that?
Well, the funniest part was that there was a fly on them during the
Oh my God.
presentation. The freaking fly would not leave them alone. It was hysterical. I felt so bad. They were like trying to share all this information and the fly was like on their face. All right, that was what my big takeaway was. See, Megan said that's how she went elite in her first year.
Yay.
So we know that it works.
You've been holding out on us, Megan. Come on.
You are the original Emily Lemoyne.
You are the original.
I really
She
am. Me and Brittany Leggett, do you know who that is? Like
So,
that's what we were known for in 2013 was just like converting challengers to coaches. And like it does get hard at every level because you do get wrapped up in like, you know, the recognition and ranks and, you know, like everything else that's going on when really like the most simple that you keep it, the better. I also, there was a couple of you that said like, do the habits. And one habit that I have gotten away from that held me accountable so much was logging into my online office every single morning for at least 15 minutes and reading every report. Because when I stopped doing that, I stopped like, there was no accountability there with learning the business. And then therefore, like when I would drop rank, I'd be like, wait, what happened? Well, what happened was I wasn't paying attention. You know, like I couldn't tell my coaches, oh, hey, you're going to lose your emerald because you don't have 50 PV, or, you know, your coach is going inactive. So there's a teaching moment that you have an opportunity for as a leader, no matter what rank you are. And so, you know, like, and, you know, things are expanding and it's overwhelming sometimes, but that's, I mean, we just have to pivot and adjust and roll with the punches, I guess. So that was one of my takeaways. That was actually a before summit takeaway. So now I log into my online office every morning to just see, like, sponsorship drill down. And that's how I learned, because my sponsor, I used to get so mad at her because she had all these like folders for us to read. Like, once you complete the new coach checklist, you go to the emerald folder. And once everything's done in the emerald folder, you go to the ruby folder. And I would go to the online office and like see things I didn't know what they were. And I go back to her and be like, what is PV? Or like, what is, you know, and she was saying, did you finish the emerald folder? And so I was like, fine, I'm just gonna learn this myself. So I just like took it on, you know, myself to log in every day. And I had an accountability partner, and we just, you know, used each other to figure out like what was going on in there. And if it's not in front of you every day, you're never gonna learn it. And you're never gonna know what's going on in your organization. And another thing is like, there are so many coaches that just freaking own it. You know what I mean? Like, you are a business owner. Do not be ashamed of an MLM opportunity or saying you're a coach or whatever. Like, I see Christina Delgado get up there, and she is like the CEO of any major corporation, and she owns it. And, you know, I get away from that too, because I just start, you know, being silly, or my mind goes off somewhere else. But that's something I did my superstar and my top 10 year very well, was just like, this is a business, these are my activities, this is my online office, I'm going to read everything that's going on so I understand it, so I know what's working, what's not in my business. Like, this is a business. So that was another takeaway of mine. And another takeaway was this lovely cold I'm getting from being completely worn down every single night. I took the C test, it's negative, so no worries there. And then in the 5 to 15 star room, I didn't get to hear Melanie speak, or the sisters before me, I forget their name. But on my panel, just being on the panel with Haley and Mandy Kai, and seeing how different we are in social media, I just love, like, you know, even though we're different, we're all there to just be completely authentic, and we take what makes us us, and we use that to relate to people, and we're just not afraid to talk to them. I'm just not afraid. Therefore, I hit my Success Club goals every month because I go out and I talk to everybody. And so they, and we run our social medias totally different. We have totally different interests. We're at totally different places of our lives. But the one common thing is we talk to people constantly. And I do really like Mandy's tip on being shoppable. I posted that in our team page. She's just always like linking something, even though she doesn't get commission for it, or whatever. But if you link something, you become a resource, and people start to check on you to see what you're using now, what you're doing around your house, what you're using on your face, what you're feeding your kids, like, hey, I'm linking this spatula. I love it. I got it from, just because you link it, it makes life easy for them. And Instagram is becoming a shopping platform. So when you're linking spatulas and lipsticks and pens or whatever, maybe one day you link Energize by using the coach links, the direct coach links that you can find in your online office. And people are, like, that's like a no-brainer sale.
Well, and
But
can I
people
say
start to
something?
trust you.
Like
ahead.
even like littler coaches, like I know people like who don't have a big social media following. That's an awesome way to
Mhm.
first of all talk about the things that you're using, and it's not as scary, and it builds that trust with people. Like, and it's also a good way to let people like know about other things that you do, because you'll find that if you're only talking about health and fitness, nobody's going to talk to you. But the more that you talk about the random things about yourself, they want to talk about those things.
Mhm. They do.
Yeah, I mean, I do Booty by Bra Bands, and like literally everybody buys them. No offense, Megan. I also love your leggings. But
I mean, whatever works, like those stupid bra pads I talked about months ago, like putting them in your bathing suit, they're like $5 on Amazon. And I get asked every day, what's the name of those bra pads you're talking about? You know what I mean? And that's a conversation. Like, and I don't pass that up. You know what I mean? Like if somebody's asking me, hey, that thing you linked, or what's your opinion on this? Like I take that and I run with it, and I just start building the relationship from there. The frother. Oh, your frother. Is that the little spinny thing? I have one. I didn't know it. I think my mom left it here.
I know, I wanted to tell you so you could do the first thing with it, so it wouldn't be as gross.
Yeah, I did it this morning, and everybody's like, oh, another thing is like, just share random stuff, because like my cats getting on my counters, it's like an ongoing joke between me and my followers now. And so I'll be doing something and they'll make a joke about like, ew, you have your cat's on your chair, like something silly. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but if I wouldn't have shared that someone told me it's gross that my cats get on my counters, then it wouldn't be a running joke or a relationship builder between me and my followers, that's just something we have now. I'm sure they're going to tag me in every cat on the counter reel that they come across now. So like, don't discount anything you're doing around the house, or any thought you have, or anything you want to share that you bought from the store or whatever. Like, it's constant content. I really liked your green shots. You need to do more.
That was the best day of my life.
Maybe I should share that I think I had a drunken summit purchase because I got this Amazon delivery today. I have no idea. It's called a habit tracker, you guys. I opened it. I was like, oh, I got myself a calendar. No idea how to use this. Every page.
That's funny.
Like It must have been after the Cutwater.
I was gonna say it was probably at the cantina.
I have no idea why I got that. I also got myself some Flair pens that my kindergarten team texted me about. It was a good Amazon Prime deal. So I came home and Sean's like, what is with all this Amazon? A book club book? I'm like, I did some good shopping while I was there.
That's hilarious.
I don't know what that is. I'm like, well, this is going back. I don't even know how to use that. There's no direction.
So I wanted to say too, about Summit. So obviously get to Summit next year because it's amazing. If you have a conflict with Summit, don't feel like, you're never gonna move forward in life. Like, you can still come to all of our team calls, come to super weekend events, involve yourself as much as you can in the community, and you will still, it's not the same as Summit, but do that if you absolutely can't come. But there's amazing things that happen that aren't just Summit. And I know my story, I always will share that the power of live events is what got me really going. So do that in whatever capacity you can. Even if you have to travel 2 hours from your city, go to a live event. It will make it real for you, and you'll see people and you'll feel that energy. The thing that we were talking about, I think this morning, is like, you're exhausted, but the energy keeps you going, the energy of the people and the excitement that's around you. And that's what you do get a sense of that at live events, even if they're smaller. Haley, do you have a share? Do you have a takeaway?
I mean, I think to piggyback off what you just said, Melissa, like I was talking to Brock the other night and just how, missing out on these events for the last, 2.5 years has been, I think, challenging for so many of us. And so, yeah, make sure you guys, get your Summit tickets. They're at the lowest prices they will be right now. Even, I don't know, even if you're not sure if you can come, I would say get it and then figure it out down the road. Make an effort to go to the Super Saturdays, make an effort to be on team calls, because this community is everything. And doing things together in this is so much more fun and so much more fulfilling than it is to put yourself on an island and try to do all the things by yourself. And then, just with a Summit takeaway, I would say the thing that resonated with me the most listening to everyone is just to, you guys kind of already touched on it, but just to keep showing up, just to keep doing the things, honor where you're at in whatever season of life you're at, but like, don't give up on the business. Don't give up on your team. So yes. That is it.
I have a very important question. Who has been in San Antonio, and where should we have our team party?
Brock, where should we have our team party in San Antonio? Where
There
should
needs
we
to be
have
a
our team
mechanical
party in
bull
San Antonio?
and a dance floor.
We need what, Megan? Something in a dance floor.
A mechanical bull.
Oh, and a mechanical bull.
It is now a tradition. And Brock, you have to come ride on the mechanical bull.
And Brock, you have to come ride on the mechanical bull.
Oh, she's got it in her headphones. He's like, nah. I will do some reconnaissance.
He said he's good.
Yay, Megan.
He'll come cheer us on. Well, we've got, can you think of any place off the top of your head? We've got some people down there we could ask.
Okay.
We got some people down there.
Now they have a Coyote Ugly and still a piano bar.
Yeah. Ooh,
Either of those.
that was so fun in Destin.
Is there anything else, y'all, that went like that you'd want to add at the team party? Because like I feel like it's super important to have one, not just because I want to have a good time, because like it was so, I like really paid attention to everyone opening up this year because it was the first time back in 2 years. And so I was nervous. that people would just leave. I don't know why, but it was great to see everyone get together. And I didn't know if you guys had any more ideas to make it.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah. The line dancing gets everyone going, I feel like.
Hmm.
You appreciate how you're like, you want that mechanical bull and line dance and atmosphere.
There always has to be something like that. Like, I'm sure like Melissa McAllister, Angie Belmar hosted like rooftop bar, fancy white tablecloth parties. And I'm like,
Did they have like an icebreaker? Because it's like an icebreaker.
yeah, it's like one that you don't have to put any effort into. It's just, so.
We also killed it at karaoke too. So
Oh.
Oh yeah, that was so much fun. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. I thought
How
I
did
was.
you forget? Oh, that was fun. I'm registering to submit right now.
so I'm gonna stop the recording.
Okay.
What are you registering for?